Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Lara Trump, Wanted for Questioning. I'm Lara Trump. You've got questions. Let's see what you got for me tonight. All right. Question number one. What office would you run for and why that particular office? I assume this is if I ran for some political office, and I think there's probably a lot to consider with that. I live in the state of Florida now. I can move. I had considered at one time running for the United States Senate in an open Senate seat in my home state of North Carolina. Should I decide to move back to North Carolina, perhaps there would be some sort of an opening there, or perhaps I could contest somebody's seat there. Given that I live in Florida, though, I'm pretty happy with what we've got going on down here in the state with our senators, Marco Rubio and Rick Scott, who used to be the governor of this state. We've got some great Congress members here in the state of Florida as well. So I don't know that I'd be trying to take anybody's seat unless it happened to open. Now, the interesting one could be if Ron DeSantis vacates his seat as governor of the state of Florida. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how it will all play out. But should that happen, perhaps that could be an open seat. The truth is, politics are terrible. It is a terrible business. We all learned that the hard way in the Trump family. But I do know how great it can be for the country and for your constituents, the people who you serve in whatever position it might be, from the local school board all the way up to President of the United States. You can enact great change. And if there were ever a possibility that I could be helpful in some space, and I saw a place where I thought it would be probable for me, then maybe I would do it. Right now, I'm pretty happy making sure that we reelect Donald Trump and make sure he is the 47th president of the United States. So that is my focus right now. But never say never in the Trump family. We learned that a long time ago. All right, next question. Your top 3 TV shows of all time. Oh my gosh. Really? All right. I mean, I really liked Seinfeld back in the day. That's sort of a classic. It's one of those, if it was on, even if you'd seen the episode before, you could kind of just tune in whenever it was on. You could pick up what was going on and just like really stay in it. Gosh, what are my other favorite TV shows? I don't watch a lot of TV, truth be told, so I have to like really harken back and really throw it back to another period in time. I used to love The Chappelle Show when it was on. I'm sure that'll get me canceled somewhere, but let me tell you something. When I was in college and The Chappelle Show was on, and every week Dave Chappelle used to roll out a whole new hour-long show, my brother and I used to like call each other at the end of the show and be like, oh my God, this skit was amazing. This was so good. Wouldn't it be nice if we could get back to a place in America, in our society today, where we could actually laugh, where jokes were funny again, and people weren't afraid they were going to offend somebody by doing something that we all know is funny. Chappelle Show, definitely one of my favorites of all times. I'm trying to think of another one. I'll tell you what I was into when I was a kid, was She-Ra, Princess of Power. I mean, that's my girl. That's what I'm channeling every single day. You might know her sidekick, He-Man, because she was rocking it, She-Ra. See how they did that? He-Man, She-Ra. That was my girl when I was a kid, and I'm still trying to channel that. So good Halloween costume to keep in mind for myself too. Thank you very much. Okay, next question. Is Elon Musk a friend or foe? I mean, I don't think I've ever met him in person. We may have crossed paths in the same space at one time. He seems to be a friend. If you want to talk about free speech, someone who is standing up despite the fact that he was not born in America, for our rights here in America, and really has done some great things with Twitter, I'm going to say friend, unless he proves himself otherwise. I loved a recent answer he gave whenever, somebody was asking him in an interview recently about how it would impact him and his decision making if market shares of Twitter were continuing to fall, if, you know, the people who were kind of operating Twitter came to him and said, hey, you probably shouldn't tweet this stuff because it's getting us in hot water. He went back to the Princess Bride and a scene in The Princess Bride where he said, it's like, offer me money, offer me everything you've got. I don't care. He was like, I don't care. I'm doing what I know is right. And I got to tell you, it takes guts to do that. So I'm personally going to say friend for Elon Musk, unless he proves otherwise. But so far, I think it's been friend. Next question. Hi, Lara. It's Tina from the New York Westchester Club. Okay. Hey, Tina. When are you and your beautiful family coming back? Miss you and Eric tons. XOXO. Right back at you, Tina. Sending love, peace, and blessings. Let's go Trump 2024. Obviously, Tina. Well, funny you should ask, because my kids are done with school in Florida this week. So it's kind of crazy. I mean, still May. And the interesting thing is everybody who lives in New York who has kids in school, y'all have these kids in school for another like 3 or 4 weeks. So I think you're going to probably see us soon, Tina. I think we're going to do a little stint up there in your area. So keep your eye out. You might see some Trumps around. I can't guarantee you my kids won't be like screaming down some hill on their bikes, because that's what they like to do around here. And we got hills in Westchester, New York, as many of you may know. So gonna have to wear some helmets this summer while we're riding the bikes in Westchester. We'll see you there, Tina. Next question. When can you come back to the Villages to speak and bring your father-in-law with you? We loved having you and Lynn in October. Thank you. We had the greatest time. If you've never been to the Villages, this is an epic place in Florida. It's just outside of Orlando. I went with my friend Lynn Patton, and we went and gave a couple of speeches there to the folks of the Villages. I'm going to say the Trump support at the Villages somewhere in the neighborhood of like 95 to 99.9%. People were very excited to have us there. And you know what? We talked about what we need to do to turn this country around. That was all the way back in October. Think about how much more we've got to do now that Joe Biden and the Democrats have been just, you know, taking a wrecking ball to America. I would love to come back. Let me know. Anybody who's, you know, into it for the country, who wants to hear about turning this country back around, who wants to hear why Donald Trump is the person to do it, I am happy to come and speak with you. So you let me know when we are going back to the Villages. We will see you there. Okay, next question. What do you think will happen with the Greyhound breed now that, thankfully, racing has been mostly discontinued? Will they continue to thrive as pets? Here is maybe a little known bit of information for you. Back, oh gosh, how many years ago was this now? 4 years ago? I worked really hard with a couple of great animal lovers here in the state of Florida to eliminate dog racing in the state, because I think there are only 2 more states at this point in the country who actually allow dog racing. It is barbaric. It's bad for these dogs. Let's face it, we've got a lot better ways to entertain ourselves than at the expense of animals. These should be animals that sleep in your bed at night, if you so choose, which I do. I have 3 in my bed every night. They should be living a good life. They shouldn't be, you know, given drugs, kept in cages, forced to race and, you know, be injured and all the terrible things that come with it. So during the midterm elections in 2018, we made sure that Greyhound racing was eliminated here in the state of Florida. I believe West Virginia and I think Missouri are the only 2 other states where it exists. We would like to see that ended as well. Do I think the breed will continue? Absolutely. Look, there are so many different breeds of dogs, and I'm a mutt lover. I love a combo of all different dogs. They tend to be the healthiest. That's why I always suggest you adopt. You can get yourself a nice mixed breed dog at your local animal shelter. But yes, there are always people who are going to love a Greyhound. Who's to say that Eric Trump and I won't welcome a Greyhound into our house at some point? This will be news to him, and he will love to hear it. But yes, thank you for noticing that we're working to eliminate dog racing and any sort of just horrible things for our animals these days. We're better than that. Okay, next question. Who's the coolest out of the Trump kids? If we're talking about my husband and his direct siblings, Don and Ivanka, I think it depends who you ask. If you ask Don, he'll tell you he's the coolest. If you ask Ivanka, she'll probably say she's the coolest. If you ask Eric, he might say one of the other two are the coolest. And that, to me, makes him the coolest. And it's the reason I married him. If you spread it all out, though, and we look at Barron and Tiffany in this mix as well, I got to tell you, people have been sleeping on Barron. Barron is by far the coolest kid in the Trump family. And Eric Trump will agree with me on that as well. Barron, you're welcome. You can give me a shout out anytime you want for that, but it's true. Barron is like low key, super cool, under the radar, and nobody even knows what's going on there. Just you wait. He's about to break out, and I think people are gonna love it. He's a cool kid. He's a smart kid. Great conversations with Barron. People would love it. So y'all don't know about Barron, but I do. All right. Next question. What piece of advice for the young women who look up to you? Oh, what is a piece of advice maybe for the young women who look up to you? Well, thank you. I'm honored and flattered. Look, I think the best piece of advice I can give to anyone is to follow your gut. You know, it's really the reason I ended up in New York when I did. And because of that, I met Eric. Because of that, I became part of this family. Because of that, I'm here today talking to you. It's sort of amazing, but it was all because I followed my gut. I knew at the time I left my home state in North Carolina, my home in North Carolina, that it was going to be hard, but I knew it was the right thing to do. I knew that was the right path for me. I couldn't fully explain why, but I was drawn to New York. I was drawn to, do all of these certain things. And then when it came time for me to step up again in the form of, working on the campaign in 2016, that was scary, but I knew in my gut, I was like, you know what, this is something I can do. I can see that my father-in-law wouldn't have put me in a position like this if he didn't believe in me. And so I followed it again, and I kept doing that, and it got me to where I am today. And I will also tell you a piece of advice that my father-in-law has told people, including me, and including, I think, at any sort of a graduation ceremony he may have spoken at, anything like that, is never quit. There is a reason successful people continue to just soldier on. And you look at people like Donald Trump, it's because they never quit. If you ever think about it, you're going to eventually get to your goal. Never quit, follow your gut, stay true to yourself. And then you can lay your head on the pillow every night and sleep well, because you know you're doing all the things the right way. Trust yourself, trust your instincts, and never give up. Okay. Next question. How do you honor the wonderful people in your family? Well, I think there's a lot of ways to do that. I do it every day by going out and talking about the great things that I think my father-in-law has done for this country, that he can continue to do. I think, we all do it in different ways. Look, for the rest of my family, for my parents, for my brother, you just got to tell people you love them. You got to spend time with them. Are you kidding me? Any chance I get to get my parents down here to Florida, believe me, I'm telling them I need you to come down to hang out with the kids. I got to go out of town for the night. I really want them to come down to see them, to spend time with them, for my kids to spend time with them. And I think that's what we all do, right? No matter if your last name is Trump or whatever else it might be, that's how you honor the people around you. You tell them you love them. You tell them you're grateful for them. And, it's the best way that I know to do it, unless you got other suggestions, because I'm open. And if you want to send those suggestions as well to one Eric Trump as to how I'm just kidding. He's the best. But we can all do our part to say thank you and remind people how much we love them every single day. Final question. What is your family's favorite meal to eat when eating with your father-in-law? Well, it depends on him. I'll tell you one of his favorites. If you're eating at Mar-a-Lago, there's something called It's his mother, Mary's meatloaf. And let me tell you, he loves that meatloaf. That's a good time for him. Comes with some beautiful potatoes on the side. I mean, for the rest of us, I'll tell you one thing that he almost always insists upon at the end of the meal is that we all get an ice cream sundae. And these aren't just ordinary ice cream sundaes, especially at Mar-a-Lago. I mean, we're talking a plate that is about yay big, okay? It's got your ice cream. It's got all of your accoutrements. You've got some crumbled Oreos. You've got some caramel. You've got some chocolate syrup. You've got some raspberry syrup. You've got whipped cream, mini M&Ms. You've got it all there. You think about it, if it comes to your mind, it's probably on the plate for this Sunday. So that is usually a staple at a Trump dinner. And it could be me and Eric with my father-in-law and Melania. It could be our whole family. And at the end, almost always everybody is up to here with food. And he's like, let's do some sundaes. We get the sundaes almost every time with my father-in-law. And I got to tell you, I'm not mad about it. So that's a perk. I'm going to take that as a perk of being a Trump and being able to dine with my father-in-law regularly. And that'll do it for us and this episode of Lara Trump, Wanted for Questioning. Don't forget to like, follow, share, subscribe, send us your questions. Go to therightsview.com with your questions. Put it under this video. Put it on any of our social media platforms. And until then, we'll see you back here next time for more of Lara Trump, Wanted for Questioning. At The Right View, we're very proud of the fact that we are independent. We get to say everything that we think and everything that we feel. We have no woke companies guiding us or telling us what we can and cannot say. We are always going to shoot you straight and give you the facts as we know them. And that's why it's important to support independent outlets like The Right View. My name is Lara Trump, and I think Mike Lindell is a patriot. He is someone who loves this country, is willing to fight for this country. I love MyPillow because not only are MyPillows made in the USA by American workers, but they're great products, and they're so great that not only do I use them in my own bed at night, my children actually requested. My daughter the other day went to the closet and pulled out a MyPillow and said, this is the pillow that I want to sleep with. And I gotta tell you, she loves it and will have nothing to do with any other pillow. So it's a big hit around our house. My dogs also happen to sleep on MyPillow dog beds. So all around the Trump household, we're big fans. If you go to mypillow.com today and use promo code Trump, again, promo code Trump, you will not only save money, but you will help us continue this show and other shows like it and help us continue the fight for the future of America. Inflation has impacted all of our lives. I don't think anyone can go to the gas pump or the grocery store without noticing that it is a major factor. And unfortunately, it's not going anywhere. It doesn't seem like it's going down in the way that we would like it to. And one way to protect your money is by investing in precious metals, gold and silver. That's always been a great way to make sure that you keep your money and you keep it safe. When you go to bh-pm.com, use promo code Trump. That way, if you decide you want to invest in gold and silver, you'll save yourself a little bit of money. We live in a time that's very interesting. A lot of us out there feel like a lot of our rights are slipping away. And if you're like I am and you want to have the right to choose whether or not to have a vaccine, how to live your life freely, and you're looking for a great doctor, I've heard amazing things about Dr. Sherwood. He's somebody who you should really check out and check into, and it'll help support this program and keep us going. So go to sherwood.tv and use promo code Trump. Again, sherwood.tv and use promo code Trump. You can save yourself some money and help us keep our program going. So I'm like a lot of people. I love to wear an Apple Watch, but I hate how it looks. And I scoured the internet to search for the best looking Apple Watch cases I could find, and I found it. goldandcherry.com. They have absolutely beautiful watches, as you can see here. Everything is waterproof. Everything looks good with different outfits. You can get sporty, you can get fancy, but they are great quality, made out of Delaware in the United States of America. And they have been kind enough to give me a promo code that I can share with you if you want to get your hands on one of these as well. It's Lara T, L-A-R-A-T is the promo code to get yourself a discount at goldandcherry.com. And not only do they make Apple Watch cases, they also make great products for iPads and iPhones, keyboards, your desktop, everything you could possibly need. Goldandcherry.com. Use promo code LaraT so you can get yourself one of these today too.